Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to be talking about a film holder, or I would like to say part of a scanning kit if you're digitizing with a digital camera. So first of all, Valoi has not paid me in any way. They're not going to see this video. I've actually have talked to them about the video and the idea I had about it, and they have no say. So I do have the beta unit here, and we'll be talking about the beta unit and what they are going to be end up releasing with the finalized version. I have the CAD files, I have the images and so on. So it's going to be a bit more of an overview of the Valoi system. Let me catch you up about how film scanning is changing right now. So basically, film scanning throughout the years has always been either a flatbed or like a lab scanner, like a Frontier Noritsu thing, or drum scanners. That's being like the three major options. Consumers having the flatbeds, professionals having, or labs having the Frontier Noritsu mini lab scanners, and then the high-end scanners being the drum scans for reproduction, art purposes, or major magazines and publications. But after the people being a little upset how like flatbeds hadn't really changed much in the last years, a lot of people have been considering and jumping onto the boat of digitizing with a digital camera. And first of all, people started using in larger, basically negative holders and a digital camera and making their own makeshift kind of things. But slowly but surely, there's been commercial options. What happens is film world is smaller. And of course, commercial is not going to happen. Like Epson's not going to launch a new, holder like this. We do have a couple of brands like Kaiser and others that make reproduction kind of like similar deals to this. But there's been a few Kickstarters coming out, which is the new trend in this time and day. So Valoi has come as a Kickstarter campaign. If you're watching this video, at the time of this video, there's 50 hours left on the campaign. And I've had this unit for a couple of weeks, but because of the holidays, I haven't had the time. So I want to talk a little bit about what it does and what it doesn't do. And it's not a review of, will it scratch your film? Does it hold it still like flat and all that? Because I do not have the final unit. And I feel it would be unfair to review it in that way without having the final item in my hands to test. So once I get that, I'll make an update video review of this. So what is Valoi? Valoi basically has 3 steps to it. You can either have, well, actually 2 steps. The first step is film holder. So you have a 35mm or 135 format film holder, and that works independently. You can just put it on top of your light source and digitize like that, just like kind of like the Digitaliza from Lomography. Or you have the 120 version that does the same thing. So they're standalone units. So those are basically very simple black pieces of material that have like a carrier where you throw your negatives in, advance them by hand, and take your snaps away. So that's basically it. The good thing about this is that as it works as a standalone system, you can use this for as little as I think is 19 euros for the 35 and around 20 euros for the 120. So around 20 bucks euro per device. If you're a medium format shooter, 120. If you're 35 only, you can use the 35. But then they have the second option, which is, hey, I really like this, but I want a little bit more automation. And automation means there's a knob and some rubber wheels and a little like holder bed thing that you put it on. It's like a riser. So you buy the film advancer for an extra 159 euros, and you can put your little holders on it. So basically very simple. You snap it on, you snap it off, you do medium format 35. And the way it works is the same way. You feed the film through the holder and you advance with a little wheel. What is cool about this, like I said, is that you can use it independently. You can use the 35 on its own, the 120 on its own, or medium format, and then you can get the upgraded film advancer if you want something a little fancier. The fact that this is how they made it and the price level they made it, and I'm looking at the official final price here, the whole kit will be 200 euros, 199. Then the 35mm holder final retail will be 19.90. The 120 will be 29.90, and the holder kit will be 44.90. So under 45 euros. So that's the thing. You can go as little as like a Digitaliza device, but the thing is, you advance frame by frame. You don't have to open the clamp and close the clamp, and that's what I like. The design has an S-curve on the holders, so that means it should counteract the curve of the film, the natural curve film usually has. It has rubber feet on the bottom, which means that it won't slide around your light table or light source like other devices I've seen in the market. And it's just simple. It just is a very simple device that you put on your light table and you advance. If you want to upgrade, like I said, to the film advancer, then you get a little bit more bells and whistles. Basically, it lifts the bed from, or the holder from the light source, so it diffuses the light. Then you have a little advanced wheel, which in the beta unit you'll see in the video is made out of Lego. Of course, Lego is pretty cheap and inexpensive to do tests, and this is a beta unit. And that way you can advance. But the final version will have steel rims, if I'm not wrong, and it will have O-rings to change the size. So it's very simple. The metal rod will have some little indentations that will be like those O-rings that you use in pneumatic and hydraulic things to keep it sealed. You basically move it from one side to the other. And those O-rings are off-the-shelf parts, so it means that not only will they supply a couple of them because they're pennies per unit, but that you can also buy them down the road in any hardware store and anything like that. So that's the cool thing about the system. Then they've changed the design a little bit throughout the iterations, and the final design that you're going to be getting has like adjustable feet so you can level it and so on. What I do think the Valoi does is it brings a very entry-level, ease of use film holder for digitizing your film. But what it doesn't do, it's not a system as some others. For example, Negative Supply has a system where you can do 35, motorized 35, 120, 4x5, 8x10, like a camera holder and light sources and so on. So Negative Supply has done the whole family of ecosystem of products. Valoi is more of an entry-level but very capable piece of equipment. Something to compare it to a certain extent would be something like the Essential film holder that comes with a light diffusion and so on. But the good thing about the Valoi is nothing is in contact with your film. In the Essential, for example, it does go through a Filmigate, but your film is kind of like on top of the acrylic, which after some time could, I think, gather dust and so on. And I don't like that idea. This, as you can see on the video, is a hollow piece of holder, so you don't have anything that could touch your negatives. Then it does have the S-curve, which does counteract for that curvature. And as there is also no material there, there's also no potential Newton rings, which are, as we all know, a pain to deal with when there's something in contact with your film. So yeah, I wanted to make this video, show you the Valoi. I've talked to Harold since, which is the maker and one of the designers, since they did this idea back then. He sent me a bunch of prototype images. We've been discussing about it, and I really like what it's coming to. One thing to take notice is it's a Kickstarter. So Kickstarters always entail risk because you're not buying off the shelf store that they'll supply the next day. But they do have a partner called Camera Store, which is the store in Finland, which I worked for before, and they sponsored the news a couple of times. So that gives me a peace of mind, especially for distribution, because they're extremely efficient and good. And they have the Finnish mentality, which is usually very serious when it comes to business. And I really like that. So this is basically Valoi. I'm not going to show you examples. I'm not going to show you the materials because these are beta units. I will be throwing in some B-roll so you've seen through the video. But yeah, I really like the idea. I like the price point. And on Kickstarter right now, I think the whole kit is 140 something euros. So like 149 was the first round and 159. So for 160 euros, you can get the whole kit. And they've thrown a couple of stretch goals. One is a diffuser that goes on the bottom of the film advancer. They've thrown the fact that you will design your own 3D printed kind of like holder, because this will do 6x9, 6.7, 6.6, 6.45, but it doesn't have masks. And the 35 unit is a 35 full frame, so it doesn't do X-span unless you start stitching, which honestly, I like the idea of stitching more than having a big film gate, because sometimes when you have a big film gate, you have light bleeding with the first frames if you have like cut strips and so on. And that's another benefit of the Valoi is small strips of film are extremely easy because it's so small and so there's no mechanisms in the way. If you grab the holder and you throw a small piece of film, even a one frame, you can scan. It won't do slides that are mounted, so take that into consideration if you have a lot of slides. But yeah, I really like the system. I think it's a pretty ingenious way. And honestly, my biggest concern is that it's so cheap that they wouldn't be able to make it. But after talking to them about the price point of, doing the injection molding and the price of shipping and all that, I think they've had all the numbers done, and having a partner like Camera Store that has experience in, manufacturing certain spares and so on, I think they will nail this product. So yeah, I'm very excited to see Valoi jumping into the film holder world, and I hope you guys too. And if you want to get a pretty inexpensive-ish system, you can get it. If you want something that will grow with time, I don't think it's the best system for you. I think something negative supply would be a little better if you're doing 4x5, or you want to do like mounted slides, or you want to have a motor option and so on. But for the price, I have to say Valoi has done a very, very good job. So yeah, that's the video for today. Let me know what you think. I will be doing a proper review when the final item is here. So let me know in the comments, what do you like to see in the proper review that I haven't covered in this little overview. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.